4 blocks away. That's how.
Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Tuesday, January 14th, 2020, 9 a.m. Kimball County Board. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Alt.
Here.
Bard.
Here.
Behrens.
Here.
Bowman. Bowers.
Here.
Kokenauer.
Present.
Crow. Curtis. Doobie. Here. Ducott.
Here.
Hughes.
Yeah.
Johnson. Here. McGinnis. McTaggart.
Here.
Awful. Here. Stewart.
Here.
Sticknot.
Here.
Whitlow.
Here.
Young. Zumwalt.
Present.
17 present, 3 absent.
Okay, Mrs. Alpha will lead us in the prayer this morning.
Testing. Father God, thank you for this day and what you have given to us. We come before you to ask for your help in making good and wise decisions. They're in the best interest for the people of Iroquois County. Please help us to be in unity and not divided, to respect one another's opinions. Thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, and for his sacrifice on the cross, so that all men can have salvation. In his name, amen.
Amen.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you have a copy of the agenda in front of you this morning. Is there a motion to approve that? Mr. Alt, is there a second? Mr. Bowers, are there any questions or comments regarding the agenda? Being none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. Minutes from the December 10th, 2019 session were sent to everybody. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Mr. Ducat. Is there a second? Mrs. Awful. Are there any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Seeing none, everybody approved by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Payroll. Is there a motion to approve the payroll? Mr. Bard. Is there a second? Mr. McTaggart. Are there any questions or comments regarding the payroll? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Kokenauer.
Yes.
Crow. Yes. Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie. Yes. Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes. Johnson.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful. Yes. Short.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
7-0.
Is there any public comments this morning? Seeing none, we'll move to chairman comments. My only comment this morning is that on Thursday this week, the 16th, there'll be another meeting of the KRBC, YRBC. It'll be held over in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Anyone interested in attending that meeting with me can see me after this meeting for further details. That being said, we'll move on to outside organization reports. Mr. Berger. Talk loud.
I won't have to waste time trying to figure out what's on there. Not too many unfamiliar faces today, but I'm Ken Berger, Executive Director of the Iroquois Economic Development Association, and we are not a county committee. We are an outside organization, as the county mentioned. So we are supported by county boards and BART, businesses and other communities throughout the county. They're being hard on my businesses. The minimum wage kicked in first of the month. They bumped it up to $9.25, as everybody probably knows, it's gonna go on up to $15 over the next 6 years. Quick calculation told me that was an 82% increase in 6 years. The last 82% increase took 23 years to happen. Oh well, they allowed tipped employees, waitress, that type of thing. They allow them to be paid 60% of the minimum, but that payment plus the tip has to equal the minimum, or the employer has to make it up. So more record to keep. Workers under 18 that work less than 650 hours a year can be paid $8 minimum, but that $8 is going to bump right up with the other one to eventually 13. They did include a thing they called the minimum wage tax credit for small businesses that allows them to deduct 25% of the increased wages that they have to pay based on the new law. They consider small businesses 50 employees or less. They can claim that on their, what do they call it, their Illinois withholding income tax return. That depreciates going forward too, so it's not forever. These huge increases, I think, are gonna make it tough for a lot of businesses. It'll force almost everybody to raise prices, so we end up paying it. Maybe even force someone to throw in the towel. It's really tough. Things are really challenging. They haven't even realized it yet. It's also gonna be tough on many of the employees that lose their jobs because they get laid off or cut back, or even businesses closing. If you happen to know of any employer that you think could benefit from that tax credit, they probably know about it, but mention it to them, tell them to look into it. It's probably better to hear it twice than not to hear it at all. I do have one funny little story, personal. I've got a girl who has rented from me for years, like I think probably a dozen years. I was talking to her the other day, and I brought up the minimum wage, and I probably was complaining about it like I always do. And she said, "That is just crazy. I'm not worth $15 an hour." So, I'm not sure everybody was standing in line waiting for the increase, but anyway, I think you all know also how negative I've been on the legalization of marijuana. So up in the air with that thing, but that started at the beginning of the month too, and I was amazed that people would stand in line for 8 hours to buy pot. So I could have gone around the building and got it in 20 minutes. Didn't even have to be taxed. I was just talking to Dee, and she said on New Year's Day, that's a holiday, I thought, but on New Year's Day, she went by a place in, what was it, Champaign?
Yeah.
They
New
had
Med.
block 4, line 4 blocks long, waiting to get into the place. So I'm not one. I'm wondering if maybe Illinois is in worse shape than we thought it
My
was.
mom said, "What they waiting in line for?"
It doesn't appear like it's caused too many troubles so far.
She said, "What?"
But it's early. The revenue coming in, I think I read it was like 317 grand on the first day. The taxes, not the revenue, not total revenue, the taxes to the state. And they estimated it could reach 57 million by the end of the year. That's a lot, and they're heavily taxed. Didn't seem to slow anybody. What's this? Is it free? Didn't seem to slow anybody down, but if they just will spend the money on what they said they were going to spend it on now, and not roll it or sweep it into all of the pork barrel projects that it usually ends up in. I noticed, interestingly, that some of it was targeted for violence prevention and substance abuse. They must have been listening to me speak a time or two. Let's see, it seems, I thought of this the other day, it seems ironic to me that 100 years ago, we ushered in the Roaring '20s with the prohibition of alcoholic beverages, and this year, in Illinois at least, we usher in the new Roaring '20s with the legalization of marijuana. The only positive I can see is maybe there'll be more people coming to Illinois than leaving in the next year. It's been a couple months since I updated you on the T&D metal expansion. I did update the finance committee a little bit on Thursday, and I saw Wendy put that in the paper. Thanks for the coverage, Wendy. But I'll expand on it just a little bit for the full board here. First, Jill assures me that the payments on the outstanding loan are coming in like clockwork. That's good. And also, by the way, I understand, I don't deal with it, but I understand the other loans current as well. I think Jim helped us get that back on track, and it's been good, doing well since. George Kucha, he's the CFO at T&D. George told me that Plant 3 ramped up quickly, like they expected it to, and that they were able to ship a full month's production during December, and that the outlook is good going forward, real good going forward. Overall, T&D is up from 157 people to 181 full-time employees. 20 of those are due to the gun cabinet expansion. I think the last time I mentioned it was 13 that were involved there. A few of those people, like I told finance, a few of those people are working on gun cabinets, but they're not at Plant 3. They're still at Plant 1. The reason is that they're forming and welding and assembling and packing the gun cabinets at Plant 3, but they don't have a paint line and they don't have laser cutting there as yet. I believe that they're going to add it, but as yet. So they've got some of the employees working at Plant 1 doing that on the cabinets. They've got firm orders for full production out through March, and they expect that they'll get quarterly updates from their customer based on anticipated increased demand from retailers. I was happy to read in the Times that Watseka Mayor John Allhands that he was trying to gain more knowledge on the opportunity zones and enterprise zones. Mayor John and I discussed the opportunity zone previously. As probably you all know from my continual harping, the opportunity zone has already been approved for months, federally approved. What's needed now is to establish the opportunity fund, and that's what I've chatted with Mayor John. We need that fund so we can start attracting money from investors, which then can be used to create some development. Hopefully, John, I'll get that figured out pretty soon. As far as the enterprise zone goes, I reported here previously that we were discouraged, I was discouraged at state level on the chances to get approval for an enterprise zone. Some of you know, some of you have been around a bit. I first tried to get an easy enterprise zone for the entire county 7 or 8 years ago, but the county board at that time decided that they were not interested. It's interesting that a comment was made in one of those meetings that an enterprise zone was like a TIF district on steroids, and that was that. Well, a little over a year ago, finance gave me the go-ahead, the authorization to try again, but I was told then that we were probably 8 to 10 years too late to have much of a chance. They were almost all given out back then. There's a rare one given out now. And I was also informed that I would need an easy enterprise zone consultant to navigate the process. They're very expensive, and that we would still be not likely to get one. I think you probably would all be surprised at how many prospects ask about tax incentives, TIF districts, enterprise zones, and now opportunity zones, along with the normal things that they always ask about: the schools, the hospitals, the shopping, the recreation, and of course the workforce. I had what I thought was an excellent prospect for the former Lucre Products building in Milford. Well, actually, there's still a good prospect, but it's kind of been put on hold right now. They've been trying to buy an out-of-state company, which they would move to Watseka or close by, but the negotiations on that are kind of stalled right now, so we wait. I'm still hoping would mean a lot of nice jobs. I won't expand on that at this point, except to say that the major player asked for confidentiality. He claimed that the word got out and somebody from Watseka called him looking for a job. And I know I made next to no mention of it except to try to describe a type of business that it might be when we were looking for an adequate building. He was a little upset, but he was fine after I told him that I always try to operate under even though we didn't discuss confidentially, I always try to operate under that thought, cloak of secrecy, whatever, until I'm given the go-ahead. Like I say over and over, it underscores why I'm tight-lipped a lot of times about that stuff. Something as simple as that can cost me one of the rare prospects that we get to work with. I want to mention Nichols Paint Fab one more time. I mentioned them previously. I mentioned previously that I had presented the Luker Products building to Justin. And at that time, I thought he had settled on staying where he was after we discussed adding some additions and remodeling and that type of thing in his existing building. But I noticed him on Facebook. He was asking if anyone knew of any buildings on Route 41 near Kentland. So I ran up there to see him and had my pictures and specs and stuff on the Milford building again. And I was telling him a little bit on how much space there would be for car exhibitions and how great it would look on TV to have one of his customers arrive by plane right at his international headquarters. But later, Donna Crow clued me in on how much it would cost to reestablish an airport and how long it would take, so I didn't mention that anymore. But Justin decided at that time that if he had to spend that kind of money, it's a lot. It's a very nice property down there, but it's expensive. That if he had to spend that kind of money, he would just as soon build a new building that was designed precisely for the business that he was doing. But his last comment to me was that if he ever did that or even just moved, it would probably be across the border where everybody seems to want to help. For my money, everybody seems to want to help here too, so what can we do, you know? We certainly don't want that to happen. That's a talented group of people up there, and they bring a lot of positive attention to Watseka and Iroquois County instead of the flood stuff. We had a rainstorm this weekend, and we were headlines about flooding. Didn't flood, sorry. A couple other things, I guess. Buska Trucking. I don't know if any of you have been out by the old Bosch building, or for us old timers, the old UARCO building. It was purchased by Rick Buska, trucker, and he moved his operation down here from Chicago. After the move, it was pretty messy out there, but they've got that cleaned up decent. The reason I mention this is that I talked with Rick's brother, excuse me, John, a while back, and we discussed the plans for that building, and he wanted me to know that they plan to rehab the building, including a new roof, and that they will have over 100,000 square feet of space available for leasing, for warehouses, offices, whatever. So I'm hoping we can maybe almost use that like a little incubator and create some jobs out there. How long it will take, I don't know. A lot of work needs to be done to that building out there. Everybody's probably familiar with the old Heartland, over by Gilman, rural Gilman there, the Heartland Health Spa. They've been bought and sold a couple of times now. I went by there a while back, and it looked empty to me. I thought they were completely shut down. I mentioned it at one of our board meetings, and a couple of my directors clued me in on some different things. Well, they were bought out by Banyan Treatment Centers in Pompano Beach, Florida, and they were in the process of changing things over when I went by there, my timing. But they say that they're happy with their acquisition and that things are going well out there. And I know if you look at online, whatever you want to call it, reports, complaints, or compliments from people that have been there, that know the place, they're a whole bunch better now than they were a year ago. They're a whole bunch better. Barb Davis took time to chat with me. She reported that down in Milford, there's 2 businesses that have opened within the last year that are doing really good. Charlie Gray's Boutique is on Main Street, and Mystery Bar is on a little bit south on Route 1. She said the parking lot at the bar is overflowing every single night, but she also mentioned that the Town and Country Event Center is really busy and is already booking 2021 venues. So that's good, beautiful place. And there was a rumor that the former Red Door Restaurant building in Gilman was tied up or not available for some reason. But when I was over there, I found out the building is available. I'd love to see one put a nice restaurant back in there. It needs a lot of work, but it could be well, whoever might wanna do it, if you know anybody that would like to open a restaurant in Iroquois County. At one time, that was, I remember going over there a lot, and it was a real focal place for good food in the county. It'd be really awesome to get that back. I've contacted a couple of parties that I thought might be interested, didn't get any no's, but I didn't get a lot of attention or interest as yet either. So that's probably enough of your time. Have you used up? Anybody have questions?
There's a coffee shop in Crescent City.
Yeah,
Do you know anything about that restaurant?
not much, where the old print shop used to be, yeah.
It's a yoga place, they do yoga and they're gonna have like specialty coffee and that type of thing.
Any idea when they're gonna open or?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I thought they would be open by now. They really went after it there for a while. But it's the same way with the auto parts store out here. It seems like it takes forever for them to get going. I didn't know about the yoga part. I knew they were gonna have specialty coffees and stuff. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Are there any other outside organization reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to the committee report. Members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred policy and procedure was agreed to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on January 2, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were Sher, Barron, Alt, and Stickman. Michael McTaggart and Barbara Awful were absent. Also present, Finance Manager Joe Johnson, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yerger, Treasurer Kurt Albers, 911 Director Eric Raymond, EMA Director Eric Stacy, Myron Munyon with Compass Insurance, Linda Taman of Sawville, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Alt and seconded by Sticknot to approve the agenda. That motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. The committee chairs gave their monthly reports. Highway Chairman Alt reported the Highway Committee will be approving a resolution for improvement for a box culvert. Management and Judicial Chairman Lyle Barons reported the Management Committee will open and approve fertilizer bids along with their monthly report. The Judicial Committee will hear their standard reports. Tax and Zoning Chairman Marvin Sticknot reported the Tax and Zoning Committee will hear the standard department head reports. EMA Director Eric Stacy reported EMA participated in parades in Watsika and Milford. Stacy said he continues to work on a hazard mitigation plan and also attended a 2-day hazard mitigation class. Stacy is moving forward with the iPause system. A tabletop exercise with the National Weather Service is scheduled for May 28th. Stacy said he is also preparing for a flash flood and tornado tabletop exercise before spring. The next LEPC meeting is January 14th. County Board Chairman John Scher gave an update on flood matters in Iroquois County. Scher said County Board member Paul Duquette attended a KRBC YRBC meeting at Thayer Farm in Indiana on December 19th. The next meeting is scheduled for January 16th. The Iroquois County River Conservancy District is on the ballot for March 17th, and Scher stressed the importance of promoting it within the district. Senate Bill 75 pertaining to sexual harassment training was discussed. Myron Munyon with Compass Insurance gave an update, stating there has been no guidance released from the state yet on the training. Once it has been released, they will begin training the department. Munyon also discussed the current alcohol and drug use policy. He suggested a meeting be held to alter the existing policy rather than creating a new policy. Scher continued on the alcohol and drug use policy, noting the policy is currently in place but it needs reviewed and updated. The word illegal will need to be removed because there are now some drugs that are legal. The current copy was distributed to the committee. It was moved by Barron and seconded by all to table approval of the alcohol and drug use in the Iroquois County workplace policy until next month. That motion carried by a voice vote. The committee reviewed the microbrew ordinance as prepared by Sure. Linda Taman of Southville updated the committee on the progress of the microbrewery. Upon review of the ordinance, Ms. Taman said their concern is the 64-ounce limit served to one customer. She said this will be very hard to keep track of due to people often purchasing drinks for other people. Other factors come into play, such as the alcohol content of the beer, cider, and mead. Mrs. Taman referred to the state law stating public intoxication is not illegal, but if alcohol is served to anyone who causes property damage or a public disturbance, then repercussions will be enforced. The committee also discussed the option of including whiskey and hard liquor in the ordinance, but Sure said a variance can be applied for if necessary. It was moved by Barons and seconded by all to amend the draft microbrewery ordinance to remove the sentence stating no more than 64 ounces shall be served to any one customer in any one day. And each serving shall be by the glass, by the bottle, by the can, or by the flight, having not more than 4 glasses. The following sentence will be added. Facilities shall be subject to state law for serving requirements. The revised draft ordinance will be forwarded to State's Attorney Jim Devine for review. A roll call vote was taken, that motion carried. Appointments include Jeremy Douglas and Joe Young to the ETS board. Correspondence was distributed to the committee. Sure presented a claim from UCCI for the current used dues, which are typically refunded the following year. The refund for fiscal year 19 has already been processed. It was moved by Barons and seconded by Sigmund to approve paying a claim to UCCI for the upcoming dues. The roll call vote was taken, and that motion carried. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Barons and seconded by all to approve the claims subject to county board approval. The roll call vote was taken, and that motion carried. There was no old business. There was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Sticknot and seconded by all to adjourn at 9:53 a.m. That motion carried by a voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for the adoption of the report. Is there a second?
No.
Mr. Hughes, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Mr. Johnson?
When did, Mr. Cece go to the, training for the hazard mitigation stuff?
I'm sorry, I don't have those dates. He's not here this morning.
Was it recently, or?
Yes. Are there any other questions?
Did State's Attorney Jim Devine, look over that?
Call it what?
To review that?
Brewery. Yes, he did. That'll be the next item as soon as we finish with the report. Are there any other questions?
What about Eric, the iPause or whatever? It said Eric was moving forward with the iPause system.
Right.
In the budget stuff, we talked about not doing that, or?
If my memory is correct, I think he's got a grant to fund it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Barons.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Kokenauer.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson. Yes. McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay, in front of you, you should have a copy of the microbrew ordinance. approved by the Housing Procedure Committee and Mr. Devine. Are there any questions or comments regarding the ordinance? Now I'll entertain a motion to approve. Mr. Hall. Is there a second? Mr. Duquette. Again, is there any questions or comments on the ordinance? I guess there are no questions, so let the call roll, please.
Bowers,
Yes.
Kopenauer,
Yes.
Crow,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
Ducott,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Tour,
Yes.
Sticknot,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Bard,
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Okay, next is negotiation. Members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred negotiations with beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the administrative center on December 17, 2019 at 10:09 a.m. Members present were Sherb, Alt, Bowers, and Sticknall. Paul Duquette is absent. Also present were 911 Director Eric Raymond, Finance Manager Joe Johnson, Board Labor Legal Representative Dave Gibbon, FOP members, and FOP Legal Representative Jeff Burke. The meeting was called to order. The committee met to discuss ongoing negotiation activities. The meeting adjourned at 1:47 p.m., all of which is respectfully submitted. This report is being submitted for information only, does not require any further action by the board. However, I'm pleased to announce that as a result of that meeting, we were able to reach a tentative agreement with the union on a new contract. That tentative agreement was ratified by the bargaining unit on last Thursday afternoon. So this morning it's up to us to take similar action. You should have a copy in front of you of the changes in the agreement that were agreed upon. Is there a motion to approve? Oh, Mr. Bowers, is there a second? Mr. Whitlow. Take a few minutes to look through this if you'd like, entertain any questions or comments.
I don't have a copy of that.
Should be there with your papers, you can have mine. John? Just a couple of highlights. The wages that were agreed upon are the same increase as what has been afforded to all the other county employees, 2.5%. When that offer was agreed upon, it was stipulated that it had to be something that in order for it to be retroactive to December 1st, it had to be ratified by the union prior to this meeting, and that's been done. So if we ratify it today, these wages will be paid to the union members retroactive to December 1. I don't know that there's anything else of any great significance that was arrived at. We discussed a number of issues during our negotiations, but most of those were left by the wayside. And perhaps will surface again 3 years from now when we open this negotiation with that union. Mrs. Kroll,
So, just so I understand, this is a year contract?
3 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, I see, okay. Because that was my question, then on page 2, never mind.
3 years from December 1st of 2019. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Kopenauer.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknine.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Barge.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Okay. Next is the Finance Committee. Mr. McTaggart.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred finance would beg leave to submit the following reports on matters before them. The committee met at the administrative center at January 9, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members included Alt, Bowers, Curtis, Stitchop, and Johnson. McTaggart and Young were absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Treasurer Kurt Albers, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yerkler, 911 Director Eric Raymond, IDA Director Ken Berrigree, Susie Werner of Homestar Insurance, Greg Steffen with Compass Insurance, and Wendy Davis with Times Republic. If the meeting was called to order, it was moved by Curtis and seconded by Sticknott to approve the message, to approve the agenda. Motion was carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Greg Steffen with Compass Insurance reported they are continuing to work on the sexual harassment training. The state has yet to release the required training. Once it is released, Bliss McKnight will be on site to train the county employees. Steffen said they are also reviewing the county's drug and alcohol use policy and will have updates for the next meeting. Sherry Johnson confirmed with Steffen that the training programs with the Sheriff's Department and Highway Department are continuing, and also suggested a training for their new hires. Susie Werner with Homestar Insurance reported the renewals for December are complete, as well as the Medicare Advantage renewals for January. Department heads gave their monthly reports. They are as follows. 911 Director Eric Raymond reported the ETSB met January 8th and voted to purchase a GIS system and a recording system, which puts them on track for the current grant for next gen 911 accrued expenses. Also, ETSB received bills for their public safety software system, Emergitech, at a cost of $1,500 per quarter. Raymond said he will discuss the invoice with Sheriff Derek Hager. Treasurer Kurt Albers reported he had been reviewing the general fund balances and invested $5 million in 6-month certificate of deposit to earn additional interest. IDA Director Ken Berrigree gave an update on T&D, stating they have gone from 157 employees to 181 employees and are fulfilling orders through March. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Johnson, seconded by Bowers to pay the claims subject to the county board approval. Roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There was no old business. During new business, Finance Manager Jill Johnson informed the committee the auditors will be on site for the next 2 weeks. Also during new business, the County Board Chairman John Scher said he is attending a flood meeting in Rensselaer, Indiana at 1 p.m. today, and all members are invited to attend. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Bowers and seconded by Sticknott to adjourn at 9:10 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the Finance Committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Curtis, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? None, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott. Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson. McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Sticknine.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Larsson,
Yes.
Behrens,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Management Services, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, this information was referred to management services, which I believe is the following report on matters reported. The committee met at the administrative center on January 6, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were Barron, Paul, Bowers, Benoit, Johnson. Paul Dupont, Kevin Bowman, were absent. Also present, finance manager Joe Johnson, maintenance supervisor Chris Drake, 911 director Eric Raymond, Norman Wagner with United Prairie, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Charlie Alt, second by John Dumont, to approve the agenda with the amendment of hearing maintenance supervisor report after public comment. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Maintenance supervisor Chris Drake report included the following. There was an issue with the fire alarm door that Drake was able to fix on his own. Workforce Development had their floors refinished and they covered the cost. There have been 3 days so far that have required snow removal. Drake said he will continue to keep track of the number of days snow removal is needed for future reference. Drake also purchased a walk-behind salt spreader. Drake switched out security camera at the jail that was not working properly. Repairs were done to the freezer in the jail kitchen. The jail door project is complete. The jail elevator is still in progress, in the process of being repaired. Extra cardboard to keep on hand for the plow. Fertilizer bids were open to discuss. Management Chairman Lyle Barron said he was contacted by a bidder during the bidding process regarding prevailing wage. An attempt was made to contact all bidders to be sure they included prevailing wage when submitting their bid. United Prairie did not receive the notice and was unable to update their bid at the time of the meeting. It was moved by Terry Johnson, second by Zumwalt, to request United Prairie resubmit their fertilizer bid with prevailing wage because they were unaware to include it in their initial bid. The revised bid is to be returned by January 14, 2020. Motion carried by voice vote. All bids will be considered at the county board meeting on January 14, 2020. Barron reported on the county bathroom improvements. He also asked Drake to begin measuring all bathrooms. Bathrooms need to have diaper changing stations as well as other improvements. At this time, there's only one bathroom in the administrative center that has a diaper changing station. Barron said there has also been discussion of converting the janitor's closet into a family bathroom which meets ADA regulations. There were no updates on the USDA improvements. There were no updates on the City of Waukegan flooding project. The committee reviewed the claims that was moved by Zumwalt, second by Bowers to pay the claims subject to county board approval. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. During old business, Zumwalt asked if the decision was made on resurfacing of parking lot at the jail. Chairman said they can review the budget and put out bids. There was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Zumwalt, second by Bowers to adjourn at 9:34 a.m. Motion carried, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its approval.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the report of the Management Services Committee. Is there a second? Mr. Duquesne, are there any questions or comments regarding the report?
Yes, there are.
Mr. Chairman, it's been made aware that we do not have to pay prevailing wage now for the fertilizer bill. So I'd like to make a motion to send it back to committee for further discussion.
I think that's something that should be, according to the agenda, covered under the next item.
However, it needs to be done.
We have, first item is the report, and then second was discussion and action on fertilizer bids. So
I'll withdraw my motion.
I think right now we're concerned about approving the report.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding it? Seeing none, Mr. Bard.
Yes, what does a family bathroom require?
Room for a family.
It'd be pretty cozy if you get two families that have to use it.
I believe basically it's just a
have diaper changing and everything, and we'll look into that more thoroughly, but I believe that's one of the things with some of these new state laws that we got, that
Do we have the room available for that?
the janitor's closet looks like it should be big enough. We just have to do some renovation.
Where then will the janitors supply?
Some can go in the boiler room, and there'll be a wall built across there which would divide, because there's a set of breaker panels in there, so that would keep that out of the bathroom. And so it'd be a smaller, and this is just something we're looking at, there's nothing in the budget, we just wanna start looking at it so that we can get it in the budget maybe for next year.
Now this, do we have a leeway then before we get compliant with this?
You know, we can only do what we can do. If somebody wants to get grumpy with us, we'll deal with that. That's why we got a state attorney.
Are there any other questions or comments on the report? Being none, the clerk will call a roll, please.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott. Hughes. Johnson. McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Signot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt. Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Kokenauer.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Okay, next will be the discussion and action on the fertilizer bids.
Now I'll make my motion to reinstate my motion and send it back to committee for further review.
Okay? I'll second it. Second by Mr. Bowers. Are there any questions or comments about this? Does everyone understand what's involved? And learn that prevailing wage does not have to be paid, so it'll be rebid. Correct?
That is my understanding. It has an exemption because it's agriculture. And that's from the Department of Labor. What was his title?
He's the manager of the minimum wage division.
He ought to know what he's talking about. It just took a long time for him to get back.
It's very hard to get in touch with him, yes. And he said he has retirees, people who are off work, and what's going into different directions.
Okay, so if there are no questions or comments on this, clerk will call roll.
Doobie.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, he talked at the same time.
Okay. Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson. McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Kokenauer.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Okay, tax planning and zoning, Mr. Sticknall.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom was referred tax zoning would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on January 7th, 2020 at 9:30 a.m. Members present were Sticknot, Awful, Bard, and Whitlow. Curtis, Kokenauer, and Doobie were absent. Also present, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Treasurer Kurt Albers, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, and EMA Director Eric Stacy. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Bard and seconded by Whitlow to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Awful and seconded by Whitlow to pay the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There were no public comments. The department heads gave their monthly reports. County Clerk Lisa Fancher reported levies were due the last Tuesday in December and all have been received on time. The annual process for statements of economic interest has begun. All polling places have been surveyed. Fancher said some polling places will have to be changed, but there has been a 2-year extension offered if you're having difficulty finding alternative locations. Treasurer Kurt Albers reported there have been individuals that are prepaying their property taxes. Also, letters for mobile home liens have been mailed. Roger Bard discussed the microbrewery ordinance, specifically whether or not State's Attorney Jim Devine has had the opportunity to research statutes and ordinance. Sticknot stated that Policy and Procedure Committee approved an ordinance that has been forwarded to Devine for his review. Due to the lack of a forum at the Health Committee meeting, their claims were recommended for approval and forwarded to the Tax Committee. It was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Alter to approve the Health Committee claims. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Bard, seconded by Whitlow, to adjourn at 9:33 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. All in favor, seconded, submitted, signed by those present, and moved for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the tax zoning committee report. Is there a second? Mrs. Awful, are there any questions or comments regarding this report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Dupont.
Yes.
Hughes. Johnson.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie. Yes. Motion carries 17-0.
Okay, Health Committee, Mrs. Awful.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred health would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on January 7th, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were Barbara Awful, Jeff Whitlow, and Roger Bard. Maureen Curtis, Kevin Kokenauer, and Leanne Doobie were absent. Also present, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, EMA Director Eric Cece, Animal Control Director Dr. Youssef, and ICPHD Director of Nursing and Social Services Donna Pruitt. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Roger Bard and seconded by Jed Whitlow to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. The committee reviewed the claims. Due to the lack of quorum, the committee recommended approval and forwarded the claims to the tax committee. There were no public comments. Animal Control Director Dr. Youssef gave his report for December, which included 2 dogs picked up and brought to the clinic. Dr. Youssef stated the facility is only housing 1 dog at this time. Dr. Youssef also said they have partnered with Once Upon a Prayer Shelter, and they have been very diligent in picking up dogs from the clinic. The first cat case was received on January 6th. Dr. Youssef reported everyone has been very cooperative so far when registrations and tags are issued for their pets. EM Director Eric Cece distributed the summary report of programs for fiscal year 19 and fiscal year 20. Cece reported that there weren't many food inspections for December. Many inspections take place over the course of the year, and most do not require another visit in December. Excuse me. CC also reported all garbage trucks were inspected during December for the year. Roger Bard discussed the issue with the sewage system for the microbrewery. CC assured Bard the issue has been resolved. CC distributed a schedule of presentations that will be delivered to the Health Committee each month by ICPHD for fiscal year 20. Lastly, CC informed the committee ICPHD held their annual safety and quality training for their employees on December 23rd. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Bard to adjourn at 9:16 a.m., all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the Health Committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Bard. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report? I guess I have one question, and that would be, is there any information that will expand upon the situation with cats. How many cats are we getting registered or any of that?
One so far.
Only one cat.
And they didn't complain.
I guess I'll be interested to see going forward how that-
Maybe there've been more since then.
Imagine when they're sick, you bring them in, then you arrest
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson. McTaggart. Awful. Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt. Bard.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Hopenhour.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Dukart. 17-0.
Okay, judicial and public safety, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred judicial and public safety would beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. Your committee met at the courthouse on January 8, 2020 at 3 p.m. Members present were Barron, Dukoff, Bard, Hughes, Grove, McGinnis, and Whitlow. Also present, Sheriff Eric Hagan, Coroner Bill Cheatham, Probation Supervisor Barbara King, 911 Director Eric Raymond, and Wendy Davis with the Pantry Building. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Paul Dukoff, seconded by Steve Hughes to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Sheriff Eric Hagan distributed his 2019 year-end report as follows. Calls for service, 9,239, 2.3% increase. It was 9,032 in 2018. Prisoners booked in, adult, 654, 1.8% decrease, or 666, 2018. Juvenile, 13, 59%, 13, decrease, 32 in 2018. Total, 667, 4.4% decrease, or 698 in 2018. Average daily population, 31, 24% increase, 25 in 2018. Average length of stay, 23, 21 days in 2018. Inmate transports to Department of Corrections, 33, a 38% increase, 24 in 2018. Inmates picked up at other counties, 47, 31% increase, 36 in 2018. Civil process services, 1,275, 16% decrease. 1513 in 2018. Tow reports, 70, 71 in 2018. Accident reports, 256 or 259 in 2018. Offense reports, 466 or 439 in 2018. They reported the fiscal year 20 budget allowed for the hiring of 2 additional deputies. Deputies that are hired from within the corrections department. And 2 new correction officers have been hired. Coroner Bill Cheatham submitted an additional claim to the committee for a training conference that will qualify for continuing education hours. Cheatham also reported 10 deaths in Iroquois County last year due to overdoses. Probation Supervisor Bob King reviewed the probation court services activity report for December with the committee. The committee reviewed Lisa Hines' monthly reports. Eric Raymond distributed the ETSB report for December. Raymond reported a tentative agreement has been reached with the telecommunicator contract. There was no old business, there was no new business. The committee reviewed the claims as moved by Dukoff, seconded by Hughes, to pay additional public safety claims, including the additional claims to the Illinois Coroner and Medical Examiners Association stands by. So, Coroner Bill Cheatham, County Board approval. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried as there was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by Crowe, seconded by Dukoff to adjourn the meeting at 3:22 p.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There is a motion on the floor to approve the judicial and public safety report. Is there a second? Mr. Duca. Are there any questions or comments on the report? Mr. Bauer.
Yeah, we reported that 10 people died of overdoses. Does anybody report how many overdoses were saved due to Narcan?
So, I apologize, I'm a little hoarse today. There's a statewide system now for reporting. And it's my understanding that part of the opioid coalition that our health department and Kankakee County Health Department, several other area health departments are doing, they're sending people out to train the EMS, the police, the sheriff's departments, those who haven't already been trained, because most of them probably have, on how to appropriately report into the statewide system any saves that they have. I can't remember the name of the system, but I sat through a training on how to report it, and it's a very simple, easy system. So hopefully, as the year progresses, that those grant funds will be used to train everyone who is distributing Narcan to put that information into the statewide system.
Okay, see, I heard that 10 people have passed away because of overdoses that we didn't save. So, and I understand that we save a lot more than that, a higher percentage, much higher.
Right.
So that's right. And I think if we had from year to year, we could see how we're doing in the county with the drug problem.
Yeah, that's what this whole system is about. So, yeah.
When do you think that'll be active?
It's active now. People are putting information into the system. It's just a matter of getting everyone trained.
Okay.
Will the state put out the different saves for each county?
You can
they're
actually-
they're the clearinghouse, obviously.
They probably, I mean, they may do that, but you can actually go into this system. You can click on your county, you can click on, you can expand it, click on towns, and you can see exactly where the saves are.
Can the public do that?
Yes, I think it's open to anyone, but I don't know that.
So
That
will
you'll have, you can view it, but you won't have, permission rights to input data.
So will that information be made available to us at committee meetings?
I suppose if you want it.
I think it probably would be a good idea if you would add that to the information that you provide when you report to them.
Well, the health department focuses more on prevention, and that Narcan is a prevention. But we're not the ones who we provide the Narcan to EMS, to fire, to police, to those are the organizations that are going to be reporting the saves. Not the health department.
I understand what you're saying, but I think within the framework of the county, your department is the one that most likely would fit into that area of responsibility.
Okay.
Thanks for speaking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mrs. Crowe.
Just to expound a little bit on the conversation at judicial, we asked about numbers too. We're curious about that because, of course, our numbers that are reported in the minutes come from Phil, and he deals with the deaths. And we've also wondered, and we have no way to track, for instance, if it would be an Iroquois County resident who is lost in the Kankakee Hospital in the emergency room, or say Champaign or something. We have no way of tracking that. Bill says occasionally he will get a call from another coroner that something like he had one, I think he said this year.
Yeah, I think that was up in the Northwest.
Right, where he got a call that it was an Iroquois County resident who had died of an overdose. So that's an unknown as well.
I just think it'd be good to compare month to month, year to year.
Oh, I agree,
So
I
to see
agree.
how we're doing on the problem.
I agree, but I just, one side's reporting two different entities, it's not all in one place, so, it's.
And not all entities who are doing saves are reporting this yet, so the data's not gonna be accurate right now anyway.
Right. But I'm sure it'll be helpful even though it isn't completely accurate. I think that's what you're getting at, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard. Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Okenauer.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes. 17-0.
Okay, next is Transportation and Highways, Mr. All.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, committee to whom will refer transportation and highway for taking leave to submit the following report and matters before them. Committee met at the Iroquois County Highway Building on January 10th at 9 a.m. Members present were all Hughes, Dunmore, Crowe, Johnson, and McKenna. Young was absent. Also present, County Engineering Board, County Board Chairman John Scher, and Wendy Davis with Lions Republic. Motion was called to order. There was no public comment. It was moved by Zumwalt, second by Booth, to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. The claims and financial reports. Subject to county board approval. Roll call, vote was taken, motion carried. County highway, $64,868. County bridge, $7,036. County matching, $12,638. PBP, $12,307. County eminent fee, $64,271. Township motor fuel tax, $1,538. County engineer, Moore, for covered on the county line. Moore said Ford and Iroquois County will split the cost of the structure based upon assessed valuation. It was moved by McGinnis and seconded by Hughes to approve a resolution for improvement for a county line by culvert. Motion carried by both employees. There was no new business, there was no old business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Johnson and seconded by Philip. Adjourned at 9:18 a.m. Motion carried by both votes. All of which was respectfully submitted. And I move to this document report.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the Transportation and Highway report. Is there a second? Mr. Duquette. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Okenauer. Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson. Motion carried 16-0.
Okay, everybody should have a listing of the claims in front of them. Is there a motion to approve those claims? Mr. Zoffel, is there a second? Mr. Duquette. Are there any questions or comments regarding the claims? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Stignot.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Absent. Sorry. Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
16-0.
Okay, in front of you, you have a list of the appointments. Are there any questions or comments regarding the appointment?
Is this vote just for the drainage district? Did I understand correctly that we cannot vote on?
Correct. Is there a motion to approve the appointment? Mrs. Zoffel, is there a second? Mr. Duquette. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, same sign? That motion passes. Is there any old business to come before the board?
I was curious to know, maybe get an update on the communication service agreement. If any developments for that.
They met last evening and I did not attend their meeting, so I don't have any information as to what occurred there. I'm not sure if there's anybody here this morning that did attend that meeting. Mr. Devine is, and I have worked on that matter rather diligently, and Mr. Devine has sent a letter to Gilman and also to Onarga. It is my understanding that Onarga was going to approve the payment of that last evening, but I'm not sure if they did or not either. My intention was to wait and see what happened in Gilman last night before planning any further action. Are there any other old business to come before the board? Is there any new business? A motion to adjourn. Mr. McTaggart, for a second. Mr. Hughes. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.